Now, Mercedes kind of commented on some other stuff this week. One of those things being Vince McMahon's documentary. For those of you who are not aware, Vince's documentary is now out on Netflix. I actually have not been able to have the chance to watch it yet. I plan on watching it this week. And so next week, when I come back, I'll talk about it in detail. However, I think the greatest form of advertising for the documentary was the statement that Vince McMahon issued in response to the documentary. So Vince McMahon actually put out a statement prior to the documentary being released. I'm trying to actually find it. But it should be on his Twitter. I'm trying to find the thing. I'm trying to find it now. Here it is. So I'll read out the statement. I don't regret participating in this Netflix documentary. The producers had an opportunity to tell an objective story about my life and the incredible business I built, which were equally filled with excitement, drama, fun, and a fair amount of controversy and life lessons. Unfortunately, based on early partial cut I've seen, this doc falls short and takes the predictable path of conflating the Mr. McMahon character with my true self, Vince. The title and promos alone make that evident. A lot has been misrepresented or left out entirely in an effort to leave viewers intentionally confused. The producers used typical editing tricks with out of context footage and dated sound bites, etc., to distort the viewer's perception and support a deceptive narrative. In an attempt to further their misleading account, the producers use a lawsuit based on an affair I ended as evidence that I am, in fact, Mr. McMahon. I hope the viewer will keep an open mind and remember that there are two sides to every story. That was the end of his statement. I want to know, based off of the statement, how do you feel?
Guys, this man is one of the greatest con artists ever, one of the greatest actors, one of the most interesting human beings we've ever seen before, dude. Like, I've seen the first 3 episodes of the documentary. I'll
Mm,
watch the other 3 whenever I get time. It's a lot going on. And then, I mean, as of this recording, it's Sunday. It's WNBA playoffs and it's NFL. So I'll finish it whenever I get time. But that statement is basically saying, you know, they didn't ask me while I was wilding. And when you watch the documentary, the thing is with the documentary, I wasn't rushing to see it because it's stuff we already know. It was just him
mm,
re-clarifying or lying about the stuff that we know. But for the most part, he's so convincing that you like, damn, maybe he's not lying about it. But then the stuff they try to air him out about like Wendy Richter and all that stuff, he was just like, hey, I had to do what's best for business. She was gonna take the title and run off on a
hmm.
plug. That's not gonna work. So a lot of stuff, he's actually like, yeah, I did it. F it, 2 tears in the bucket. So what? That's how it really is
Right.
when you watch the documentary. But for the most part, he put out that statement, I think, just as a promo. Because when you watch the documentary, it's not like they try to make it like a burial job. It wasn't a burial job. It's stuff that we already know. He just clarifying exactly what happened, or he's lying about it. But either way, he speaks on
Mm. So to kind of piggyback off of what you're saying, um, like to kind of clarify what I said earlier, not clarify, but double down. I have not watched the documentary yet. I plan on watching it this week. I'm super excited about it. But I'm gonna say this: whatever he got accused of, he did that. Like, I don't think that it's a secret. Like, the man paid more money on non-disclosure agreements than he did for the intellectual property that he bought from his two biggest competitors,
it. Hmm.
WCW and ECW. He spent 15 million on NDAs. He spent significantly less than that purchasing the libraries and the intellectual properties of ECW and WCW. I am excited to see this. However, I think that the bigger message in all of this the documentary message, based off of what I'm piecing together from everybody's accounts, is the fact that WWE is no longer in the Vince McMahon era. This was less about Vince, and it was more about letting people know, letting investors know, letting advertisers know, hey, we don't really deal with Vince like that. If you don't believe us, you can listen to Stephanie say that this and this and this was weird. You can listen to Triple H say that this and this and this and this is weird. You can go through the library of footage. You can hear the first person accounts, and you can kind of gather that we don't really mess with this guy anymore. And I feel like this was more to just reinforce that statement and to also reinforce that WWE is in an era of transparency, right? If I'm airing out the person who built this company from the ground up, I have no problem telling you anything else you want to know, because we've already kind of pulled the curtains back on some of the dirtiest things that have happened in this company. And I think that's also something that any good PR wants to put forth as far as their company, because you want to build consumer trust. So I think that these are my early takeaways, even though I haven't watched the documentary yet. That's what I'm gathering. But, we'll see what happens going from here. But I want to know, if you have watched the Mr. McMahon documentary on Netflix, I do want to know your opinions. Leave them in the comments below. We're going to be moving on. Thank you guys so much for watching the Culture 316 podcast. If you liked what you saw, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe so that you guys can stay up to date with all upcoming videos and events pertaining to Culture 316.